What can cricket players learn from baseball to allow them to hit the ball harder? In this video today, we're going to look at what baseball players do well. We're going to look at what the best cricket players in the world do well. And we're also going to look at the research in cricket and take what we can to allow us to hit the ball harder, more consistently. So in the cricket research, there are 3 things which contribute to a cricketer hitting the ball longer, more consistently. The first one of these is the wrist uncocking.
Side note, what I meant to say there was contributes to bat speed, not carry distance. The things that contribute to carry distance as well are impact location, so where you strike it on the bat, i.e. how cleanly you hit the ball, which obviously makes a difference. Secondly, your launch angle, so whether you hit it really shallow or really steep, that's obviously going to contribute as well. But these 3 things are what impacts your bat speed, which also is obviously going to help alongside how cleanly you hit it and what angle you hit it at.
All we mean by this is in the backswing, the wrist is flexed rather than extended in here. What that translates to in the best batters in the world is at ball release, the toe of the bat is normally pointing the sky. And if we look at what baseball players do, they also do the same, where in the backswing, the wrist is really flexed, toe of the bat is pointing the sky, and they're ready to release that wrist through the ball. The second, and arguably the most important thing in the research for power hitting, is the X factor angle. What this measures is hip-shoulder separation. And if you imagine this orange stump is going to be my shoulders, the greeny yellow stump is going to be my hips. At ball release, my hips and shoulders are going to be separated. So my shoulders are probably pointing down the wicket and my hips are probably towards mid-on, maybe even mid-wicket, somewhere in that range. And then if we took a snapshot, took a bird's eye view, from above, that's going to look like an X, and this angle in here is known as the X factor angle. So if we can make that angle bigger, what it means is we have more tension in our torso that we can then unleash and let rip through the ball. So once again, if we look at baseball, what they do really well is they get into this stance here where they really massively rotate those shoulders. Now in cricket, we obviously can't do that quite as much because we don't know where the ball is going to be. Could be a Yorker, could be a bouncer, we don't know. So we can't go quite as risky and have our shoulders all the way around here, but we can still make sure we keep this shoulder engaged and we have a bit of hip shoulder separation so that our torso is engaged and we have that kind of anti-rotation element where our shoulders and hips are working in opposite ways, so it creates a load of tension and then you can release through. I always like to describe this as if you were to get a rope, so we're now going to go over to the boundary rope. If you're to get a rope and you're to twist it in different ways, then it creates a load of tension that then when you release it, it unravels. So let's have a look and see if we can do this. So if I get this rope and imagine this hand is my hips, this hand's my shoulders, and I twist the rope in one way, it creates a load of tension in the middle. So I'm twisting my hands a different way. And then if I release one hand, it then unwinds. That maybe wasn't quite as aggressive an unwind as I wanted it to be, but you get the idea. And the final thing that the research shows is really important for power hitting is elbow extension. So all we mean by this is at the minute my elbow is flexed, and if I was to do that motion, that's my elbow extending. So obviously if we just check a drive and keep that elbow flexed, we're not going to hit the ball quite as hard as if we fully release that elbow through the ball. And away from the particular research that I'm talking about in cricket, the final thing I want us to learn from baseball, so a bonus 4th thing, is that what they do really well is they really set a solid base through that front foot. They then get into a brace front leg position, very similar to what we see in fast bowlers. And this allows them to pivot around that point, transfer all of that rotational energy and torque around that point to hit the ball really hard. If you found that video helpful, then I'm going to drop another video that we've done on power hitting here that is going to talk about all of this in a lot more detail for you. We're not happy with that strike to finish. Let's give you a bonus, better one. Let's really concentrate. Bowlers running in, engage that front shoulders, wrists are cocked, and I'm going to really set a solid base and extend my elbows through the ball. Oh no! Tried to hit it too hard. Tried to absolutely murder that. Right, watch the ball. Nice. Thanks for watching. Zoom.